All right, let's take a look at Unit 8, Activity 9, which is going to concatenate and return an array. To solve a problem like this, I recommend reading through the question in its entirety and then start to pull out the details that you need. So I've taken the liberty of copying into Notepad the input that we're going to receive. In this case, the string two-dimensional array called words in this example will contain an array with the letters BATH in them, and then that's the 0th row, if you will, and then each row after that will contain an additional word. To help visualize this, what I will often do is take the two-dimensional array and turn it into rows, and then you can see the columns as well, i.e. these right here. And the idea is that we're going to take each one of these sub-arrays, if you will, or rows, and then concatenate all the letters together to make a single-dimensional array or one-dimensional array with the words in it. So with these kind of problems, what I like to do is first of all break out the things that are easy. We know that we need a method header to start this with, so we find the method header in the list and we'll drag that in and start with that. So we're going to return a string array, and our method called break into letters is going to receive a two-dimensional array called words. And we see we have a end method, so we could put that in there. And then we need to start to break out the individual lines of code that we need to add. So we know that we have to return something of type string array, and there's only one thing created here: string array result equals new string that's going to contain elements that have the number of rows in the original array. So that is the first words.length, the first length member of that array. So we know that we're going to need to create a result array. We'll do that as our first line of code. Then we'll need to start looping through each of the rows and finally looping through each of the columns of that row. So we'll find the for loop, the outer loop, that loops through the rows, and that's this one right here for int I equals 0 while I is less than words.length. The first words.length is the number of rows in the argument words. So that will be our next line of code. Let's find the end for loop for that, and we see that here, and put that in there. You can see that we're returning result, and that was the result that we created here, the array that we created. So within these two blocks of code, we have to then start populating the result array. Within this first for loop, first we need somewhere to capture all of the letters of each row. So let's take this first row, or the 0th row if you will, as an example. We have to capture and each one of these letters individually and concatenate them onto a result and finally add that to our array. So let's find string word equals blank so that we have something to start capturing each individual letter with. We only have one more for loop in here, but let's explain it after we add it. So that's our inner for loop, and for int j equals 0 while j is less than words I dot length. In other words, if I were 0, we would be going through this array right here and getting each one of the strings from it. Take each string from words I index j and concatenate it to word, thereby each time through this for loop, the first time through, well, let's go one at a time, we'll have b, the 0th of word 0, 0, and then word 0, 1 is going to be a, and then 02 is going to be T, 03 is going to be H, and we'll concatenate that onto words. Finally, at the end of that for loop, concatenate it onto word. At the end of that for loop, take the resulting word and put it in results index I. So if I were to just type this out real quick, if int I were to equal 0, and we'll just do the first time through the for loop, we'll be taking this row. And then we'll use int j, which is going to have the values of 0 through the length of this array. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. And at index, in words at index I, 0 is going to equal b, the string b. And this line of code here, word plus equals b, will take word plus equal words index ij, would take b and concatenate it to word. So word starting at blank would then equal b. Let me just erase that. So word's going to equal b, and then the next time through, word plus equals a. Let's just say word here is b, and then it is ba, and then word plus equal t is going to be bat, and word plus equal h, and it will be bath. Finally, since we're on index I of 0 is the value of I, we will set result I equal to bath, and then the next time through the for loop we'll be moving on to the next word, and then the next word, and the next word. So that's how this code would work. I guess we should check it to make sure it's right. And we've got a block placed in the wrong place. What could have happened here? Let's see. It wasn't indented correctly. I see. So let's move that over. There we go. So we had the code correct, we just had the indentation done incorrectly. Thank you for watching.